Okay, now besides from my 30-minute video on the mark that probably didn't keep y'all very much entertained because I was kind of like on and on with a bunch of different information that applied to things. But I'm Jose Fishburne, the real life Kudu Canadian, and I want to talk to you about Donald Trump's tariff plans. Tariff plans and targeting the IRS to turn them into the ERS, from what I've heard. It did. Yeah, so that was the whole thing there. So, okay. We're going to get into it. Tariffs has been part of the Republican platform for who knows how long. But in this case, what is Donald Trump trying to utilize it for? Now, Donald Trump is a man living up to the stereotype of his personality type. ESTPs, you're entrepreneurs. You take hella risk. No structured plan, but it's a plan. No structured plan, but it's a plan. It's a risky plan, but y'all take it. I get it. All right. So, Donald Trump. Oh my gosh. So, where are we again? So, first of all, tariffs. He's raising the tariffs to like encourage more at home manufacturing. All right. So, but the problem is, talking about he's gonna make other people pay for it, but you can't get other countries to pay for something when we're relying more on imports. We have, well, not relying more on imports, but we're importing more than we're exporting. So automatically, a lot of stuff that we're getting, it's gonna raise the cost of living either way. So for those of you who think Trump's gonna reduce inflation, not really. What's probably gonna happen is most likely the cost of living is just gonna go up even more. You know what I'm saying? It's just gonna go up even more, because a lot of stuff we have is imported right now. We don't have a lot of manufacturing yet. The smart thing would have been to do was to encourage manufacturing here first, build it up here first, then decrease our reliance on imports. And decrease our reliance on imports, probably balance out the exports and imports, then you can raise tariffs. You know what I'm saying? One shouldn't be more than the other. We shouldn't be exporting more than we're importing. We shouldn't be importing more than we're exporting. It should be pretty balanced, to be honest. But nationalist policies, so we want more resources. We want more resources over here. We'll give out some resources just to make some money, nationwide, global wise. But it is global wise. But we don't want to give out too much because our national policy says we want to be richer than y'all, so that's why we import more. So we import more. We want all the resources, and we want to give out less and charge you more. You know what I'm saying? And charge you more. But if you're raising tariffs on imports, see, if it would have been smart if he was saying he's raising tariffs on exports more so than the imports. If he's raising tariffs on the exports, that probably make more sense. Even though that put tariffs on the imports as well, it means the cost of burden is mostly going to fall on the American citizens if we buy the imported stuff. But I guess it is to encourage more buying local things. But we don't have much local things. A lot of businesses shifted over to imported stuff. It was you could say it was a mutual system, but it wasn't really mutual if nobody was really benefiting from it. Which I did recognize somebody in the group, one of the groups I'm in on Facebook, had mentioned something about how like we would contract, like how Canada would contract us for us to refine oil, or was it Mexico to contract us to refine oil, and then we'll give it back to them, but sell it back to them or something. This is like contracting each other to do different things for each other that we could possibly most likely just doing here. Like each other can be doing it in our own country. You know what I'm saying? In their own country. So this, you can call it, it's not really mutual aid. Well, not the kind of preferred mutual aid that I prefer. I prefer mutual aid that builds each other up to be independent, not constantly forever dependent. So, that's my take as a Kudukadian. Kudukadian stance is mutualism should be making everybody should be helping everybody rely on each other to the point where they don't have to rely on each other no more. That means you become independent afterwards. You shouldn't have to be, hey, help me, hey, help me, hey, help me, hey, help me. Okay, I'll help you, you help me. Okay, I'll help you, you help me. Like it's just all right. We're prolonging suffering here. We're prolonging suffering here. Let's end the suffering. Let's make each other independent so that we don't have to keep relying on another. Okay, it's not wrong to rely on one another, but when you're constantly doing it as a forever circles a cycle, it gets unhealthy. It gets unhealthy. All right. Mm, gets unhealthy, especially it puts strain on each other because, like, all right, you're relying on me, but I got to do things differently here because this is my, you know, so it's the whole ordeal. So, like, no, mutualism should be utilized to boost individualism. Okay, okay, to boost individualism as well as individualism can be utilized to contribute back to mutualism. Like, hold on, all right, I'm gonna help you out. So, well, you don't come ask me for anything ever again. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. But unfortunately, that's not how it was being done on the political stage. So the political stage just constantly utilize each other, but no, we're not really relying on ourselves that much. The point is to rely on ourselves. You know, that way we can work. We can work. We can stand strong on our own 2 feet, basically. So this is why America needs their own manufacturing sector back first. But Trump's not relying on that, obviously. So he's not going to invest because obviously I understand why it wouldn't be investment because the government already been giving money handouts for like a while now because obviously Democrats. So we're giving money handouts. It's not working. It's just causing inflation. There's no, it's nothing going, just causing more inflation and all that on top of imports and imports already being inflated as a terrorist, but he's going to raise tariffs in the hopes of encouraging America to go more domestic, which it didn't really work during his time. I mean, yeah, it got me people to be prideful and be happy, like, yeah, let's make more things in America. Maybe you can make more things in America, but not if you're just slapping "Made in America" on it. And this is where, okay, maybe Doge comes into play too, but no, well, efficiency, like seriously, their spending efficiency. That's really more what that's focused on. But like, okay, now I guess they're doing more investigations now into stuff like, but yeah, just targeting immigrants right now. But like, what are you gonna do for like the companies that just like to slap "Made in America" tags on the stuff and they weren't really possibly made in America? You know what I'm saying? Are you going to create an investigation services to investigate into these matters to make sure they are in fact making these within America than outside? Them just exporting them, importing them in, and then just slapping "Made in America" on it, and then selling it for a high price because you didn't really make it here in America. You just imported it, paid the tariffs because I guess you're a company, you're rich to pay for tariffs like that, and then and then boom, you just charge more because hey, you get more money out of it. So why worry about it, right? So it's still just gonna inflate things gradually. He's doing that in hopes that it'll encourage Americans to buy more domestic and make things more domestically. By raising tariffs. It's not going to work because he's already tried this. He already talked about raising tariffs. It didn't work. It didn't work. It didn't. So maybe he might have learned, which I doubt because he hasn't mentioned anything about creating an investigation service to investigate if we're really making this stuff in America. So to actually cause inflation to go down, which makes me think this he's not really for the, you know, he's not gonna create that, y'all. What he's gonna do, which is something that he did do in his last presidency, was slap a price cap on it, like he did with the drug laws, though, with the medical drugs when they were inflating from Medicare from Obamacare. They were inflating from Obamacare because people was able to get access to them a lot. You know what I'm saying? That's why the prices of them were going up because people were the demand for it was getting higher, higher. Ooh, biomedical, boom, boom. So what Trump did was slap a price cap on it, a price cap, which that's what they do. So policy, a structured plan that I've been noticing they've been doing anytime anything inflates, they just slap price caps on things, you know, just to slow down or just to slow down the rate of inflation. So that's what he's going to do. He's just going to slow down the rate of inflation. He's not going to really stop and revert it back to eggs are never going to be the same no more. Even though that's not something that's imported, but at least I hope that's not something that's imported. If that's something that's imported, come on, y'all. I was being ridiculous. Stop playing. Get those chicken farms. Start doing. Well, it could be hard because a lot of corporations are taking over the farms and all that now. But so it will probably encourage some domestic making here, but it's not gonna encourage the others who just import, who just pay the import taxes and then slap "Made in America" on it, then sell it, and then give it back to, then give it to the American people. So yes, it's it's not gonna work out. He's just gonna inflate prices. He's gonna inflate prices, then slap price caps on it. That's all he's gonna do. Not really much to it, but it was to encourage America to do all this stuff from that. Then he's gonna cut taxes across the board, which you're just cutting taxes. It's not like gonna go ERS or something. No, he's not gonna rely on external revenue. They're not gonna pay for that. Then the Iron Dome, which is gonna cost a lot of money, so that's gonna cause some inflation. That's gonna cause some inflation just to maintain that. I've been hearing that talks about that, how much it's gonna cost because we're a bigger country than Israel. And I mean, we could do it from space, but that's still going to cost money to maintain something that's literally floating above us in space. Like so the Iron Dome shield. That was not what I had in mind when they was talking about the Iron Dome shield. What I really more so had in mind was like, all right, you're just going to create this massive EMP network, radio network between satellites floating and have them constantly floating themselves over the U.S. over the U.S. So that way they're not floating everywhere else. We just had them constantly floating over the U.S. to EMP. Just the EMP. Just the EMP, any incoming missiles from space. Which is how we would get hit with a barrage. Like EMP, you'll EMP the freaking nukes first before. Like, he's relying on the Israel structure of the Iron Dome, but Israel's a smaller country, and on top of that, most of their people are close by trying to attack them. You know what I'm saying? Try to attack them with missiles. So, yeah, you need a Iron Dome missile defense for that. It's just to knock missiles out the sky because they keep shooting missiles at you. All right, we've been saw evidence of that when Palestine launched a missile back in it was back during one of Trump's presidencies, right? Or was it during Obama's presidencies? One of them presidencies. When the hell was Google? Google Plus was around during that time. Oh, so then okay. Then it was during Obama's because I think Google Plus kind of died down around before 2016 when President Donald Trump was elected president. Because I remember seeing that article from Google Plus. So yeah, Google Plus. It was talking about how a failed missile attack, but it likely failed because they probably shot it down before it had time to do some damage. But then Israel started launching all these missiles back, started bombing them, and yeah, and just going crazy. just going crazy on them. So and that's what we got talked about. Like, yo, Israel, y'all need to chill. So, like, y'all need to chill. So freaking Israel was like going crazy on Palestine back in that time. That's why over one missile that failed because y'all shot it down. Yeah, you shot it down. You ain't have to go ballistic on them. Just launch. God damn. Uh, sorry to say, but yeah, Israel was crazy as hell. They've been crazy. We've been to a record of them. Yeah, they were targeting Philistines in their country, but it's all part of Zionism, baby. Nationalism. This is Jewish nationalism, baby. But anyway, in Israel. But anyway, never mind that. So definitely he wants to mock that type of system. It works for Israel because the enemies are close by and they're smaller scale. They can afford to do that. So, but we're a bigger country. It's going to cost us more to maintain, and as well as it's like, okay, the missiles we're going to get are coming from space. So unless you wait for them to launch a missile, then you just launch a smaller missile after to go like fly after the freaking nuke. It'd be better just to have like EMP stuff to like turn off the part that allows the nuclear thing to activate, the computer system that allows the that triggers the nuclear reaction. But then they can also counter that by simply just like triggering the new nuclear reaction as soon as it goes up, and then turn it down and drop it. You know what I'm saying? You know, which if they do that, would that reduce the effects a little bit? Since they trigger it, if we cause them to have to trigger their nuclear reaction early to burn through it faster, would it minimize the effects? That's what I want to know. And that's a test we cannot perform. Theoretical test we cannot perform. We would literally have to study nuclear fission. Well, we can actually perform that. We have to study nuclear fission. See, like, if you trigger it and study, like, sending it up into space and then just bringing it back down, which we can study with Elon Musk's rockets. Just sending nuclear fission reaction up in space, but don't drop it down to where it can explode. Just make it come back down so we can see does the energy that it releases get reduced from starting it early and coming back down? Because if that's the case, then likely it would be smart to just have an EMP satellite shield where we can just EMP the computers to EMP the computers that start the freaking nuclear reaction. Get them, cause them to want to start it earlier, which will reduce the effects of it as well. Which then we can use some sort of iron dome effects. But then we have to be careful of nuclear fallout. So nuclear fallout, which still can happen. Nuclear rain, which still can happen if you're exploding nuclear missiles in the air. So, yeah. So, it'll be expensive, but it's kind of plausible. People say it's not plausible. It's kind of plausible. It'll be expensive, though. Well, basically, is like I said, the inflation is not going nowhere. If y'all thinking Trump is going to reduce inflation, he's not going to reduce inflation. Sorry to say, you're just going to have to figure something else out, as things will only continue to gradually get expensive, and he'll just enact price caps to slow down the rate of how expensive things are. So, I say good luck to y'all. Best of my abilities. You know what I'm saying? Speaking of which, are you into hunting? Check out this next video. Yes, I'm making 3 videos in this one day. So, if you're into hunting, I'm going to tell you a clue to key and way of hunting. Okay? Let's come on next.